Welcome back to Flight Path. My name's Simon, and we're talking about this battlefield here, which is Quatre Bras. And so the battle is about to commence. It's around about 2:30 in the afternoon, and we are here looking from the Prince of Orange's position at Quatre Bras, looking south. He's got about 8,000 men. He's got about 16 guns, and he's facing around about 9,000 men, a lot of cavalry, and about 34 guns initially. And this is from Ney's part of the French army who's coming up this road here. Now, what happens initially is that the French artillery move up this road, and they peel off and they line up along this ridge here. These are Foy's artillery, and when they get here, they open up and engage the Dutch artillery under the guy called I'm going to kill the pronunciation of this, but I'll have a go. It's Bielveld. Now his battery is in this position along here, and so the Foy's artillery open up, and they're basically having a battery versus battery fight, and Bielveld's battery suffers particularly badly at this point. After this, Foy leads Jamon's brigade up the slope south of Gemiancourt. So he's basically essentially moving them up here, and he moves them towards the 27th Jaeger, who are occupying this farmhouse here. So we're now looking south, and the French are coming from the south there. Bachelou's brigade is moved across in this direction here, and so they'll be coming around. Essentially, this is a village called Pierrepont, and they're essentially coming from this direction here. And he has Piret's cavalry. They move up and are told to cover the right flank. So they're sort of hovering essentially in this sort of area here. Now the Netherlanders who are in this farmhouse called Gemiancourt, they're heavily outnumbered, and but they offer a stiff resistance. So their loyalties questioned, their qualities questioned, but there is no doubt that they perform very, very well. And this is one of the very first actions, proper actions that are seen by the Belgium and Dutch on this day, and they perform very well. And essentially, they're kind of forced back into the farmhouse by the movement of Foy's brigade. Now the this wood here, which is it's called the Bossu wood, which is all this actually was all wood this way. It gets put under pressure, and the Prince of Orange sends a battalion in Nassau's to reinforce this wood. And what we have here is this wood is being attacked by Jerome's brigade, and they're essentially coming across this way into these woods here. Gautier first led the move into this wood, engaging them along the southern edge. So we're looking, yeah, so he's kind of coming across this way into these woods here. And the first attack is halted, but he's forcing the allies to pull back into these woods, back into the Bossu woods deeper and deeper. And the Duke Bernard leads a counter-attack, driving the French out of the wood. This is when the Prince of Orange will then send some Nassaus in to reinforce the position. And eventually the French who are driven back here are rallied around about this position on the Charleroi road. So the initial engagement shows that even though the Dutch Nassaus are outnumbered, they're outnumbered probably something like 4-1, but they're showing resolve. They're showing fight. The Jaegers here at the Gemiancourt are showing a resistance, and but they are outnumbered, and it's forcing them to retreat back into the woods on this side. With this, the Dutch falling back here, there was I think a battalion of Nassaus in this area, continuing to provide support basically to the farmhouse by essentially denying this area here to the French. At this point, Jamin is moving up and starts to use howitzers on the Gemiancourt farm, causing heavy casualties. And there's the ridge to basically essentially this pond here. The Jaeger are falling back up this ridge as the pressure comes from Bachelu's troops on the other side. Remember Pires cavalry? Well, they've moved up and they are attacking these Jaeger who are in the open as well. Eventually, Jamin gets these militia out of the farm. They stream off to the wood over here. And they had Pires lancers in pursuit of them. So we can imagine that they're streaming back this way, and they're being attacked by Pire's lancers. It's believed at this point the Prince of Orange is in around this area. He's actually getting stuck in, directing the fighting, believed personally. He orders one of the batteries that was in this area here to retreat back towards the crossroads. And he's also ordering troops from the wood to engage Jamin from this side. So essentially what we've got here is that the first attack is now pushing back the Dutch in the woods here. They've pushed back the Jaeger, who were essentially controlling this farmhouse. And so you can essentially see here that they're breaking through the center of the Prince of Orange's position. This defensive position has fallen, and you've now got a handful of companies and facing off against brigades with cavalry and artillery support from the French. So we talk about a whole series of crises. So this is the first crisis. But the Prince of Orange, with what he's got, has managed to delay the French, held back the superior numbers of the French for a good couple of hours. It's believed that the numbers pouring up the road has now reached for Ney something in the region of 17,000 infanteries, possibly 4,700 cavalry have arrived. It's now probably more like 62 guns, the double amount at the beginning of the battle. And essentially having now broken the resistance in the center here and on the left, and forcing these skirmishers basically back, he's now preparing to move on to the objective itself at Quatre Bras. So this is what's known as the first crisis. Welcome, by the way, everybody. If you're enjoying this take, then please stick a like and a subscribe. In a very small channel, just started talking casually about anything really, but I like to do these sort of series. You can find we've done one on D-Day, and we're now doing one on the campaign of Waterloo. And going forward, I would do different subjects, just using Flight Simulator to fly around and see the landscape, and see if we can get any insight into the decisions that were made on the day by actually trying to be there or as close as possible. And of course, this is not something that we could do in real life, but if you're one of those people who love a history book and always have your finger on the map section, this is the kind of place for you. It's a stream, it's a flight simulator, it's a podcast, it's a streamcast, call it what you will. And what I tend to do is talk live, fly live, and so that there's no AI involved. But if you want to be part of the story, then drop a comment in, and that will be great, and we can jam off that. Um, so essentially what I think I'll do here is I'll take a quick break again, because we've got to the end of the first crisis, and when we come back, we'll look into the first arrivals of reinforcements for the Allies, and we'll continue the story from there. So I'll see you in a moment.